All right, man. Detroit Lions get the job done today and destroy the Chicago Bears. I thought might be a little bit more competitive. Obviously, the Lions have a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on the road and at home. On the road, they're a different football team. Like Jamal Williams got back on track today. Might be a little bit more healthier. Um, excuse me. Oh, I'm on the wrong way. There we go. There we go. There we go. Nope. There we go. Good. Hold on. Fix this. There we go. So Jamal Williams got back on track today. I mean, it was a good all the way around performance. They bounced back from last week from the embarrassment in Carolina. Like Carolina was about to run away with from the Bucks today. I bet on Carolina today. I thought they got the ball back. So I don't know if they still playing or not. But I'm looking at red zone from back here. So yeah, they got 2 minutes. They down 9, so the game is over with. I thought they jumped up quick early, but obviously whatever the situation may be, I believe the Commanders end up losing as well. So I believe the scenario for the Lions, we need Seattle to lose one more because they held a tiebreaker that beat us this year. Um, so they played the Jets today at home. Looked pretty dry out there. So um, Mike White is back. So I don't know. I heard it, I don't really watch. I don't watch Thursday night. I don't watch no football outside of today, really. Unless it's like tomorrow matchup with Buffalo and Cincinnati, I'll make time to watch that. But so I think the scenario is that they need to win out. Washington had to lose one game. Seattle has to lose one game, and then the Lions had to win out in Green Bay. Now Green Bay is still in it, I believe. They beat Miami last week. I think their scenario to make the playoffs is a little bit more complex. Uh, so yeah, but yeah, it's no guarantee the Jets. The Jets not at home. They in Seattle. The 12th man in Seattle and all that. Now, if you wonder who Seattle closed out against, close out against the Rams. So yeah, it's pretty much Jets or bust shit at this point. It's pretty much Jets or bust. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to define the Lions season as a successful or unsuccessful based off of making the playoffs. I think they finished strong down the stretch. I think they found some diamonds in the rough. Kaminsky, James Houston, Malcolm Rodriguez, and bare minimum, some of them guys might be major contributors next year, but bare minimum, Seattle got a nice return. That's a touchdown. Yep, they already scored. So, um, no, he tripped him up. Kenneth Walker had a big run already on the Jets, so they right outside the 10. They stuffed them, but well, yeah, nonetheless, man. I don't even know where I left off at, to be honest. Watching this game, but at the end of the day, it still was a successful season. Um, and their success seemed a little bit more permanent than last year. It just seemed like, some teams was overlooking them last year, and we snuck up on Arizona, we snuck up on a few other teams down the stretch. Arizona was the best performance of last year. The most stunning performance was against Minnesota. Seattle already scored touchdown. So yeah, but like I said, I don't think their success this year gonna be measured by making the playoffs. So yeah. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Shout out to Greg. I would like to bring you on the podcast. And going to DM. Oh yeah, go ahead and DM me on Twitter, bro. See if we can work something out. James Hughes is free. Where's the dude come from? Jackson State with Deion Sanders. He got kicked out of Florida for, I think, credit card fraud or something like that. Found his way to Jackson State. So yeah. So the Lions will go to the playoffs. I have to attend the game. Yeah, it's probably gonna be on the road. Yes, Houston is a dog. Kicks plug, salute. He said a problem, acts, prime time. Lions changed their heart. That made all the difference. They actually want to win now. Black Jacket. He says, Juan say the Lions. I say it's overachieving this year. Only had to win in 5 games this year. And you know. But the game at hand, I mean, Justin Fields got to learn to throw from the pocket. But then again, it was going to be hard for him and Claypool to, form a bond out there and in the middle of a season. Kirk Cousins and Hawkinson starting to build a bond, but that's the one thing we don't see a lot of mid-season trades in the National Football League is because it's different. It's a true team sport. In basketball, everybody pretty much run the same offense, and it's easier. It's five guys, not 11 on each side of the ball, plus special teams. So it's easier. Football, man, it's just it's more camaraderie kind of like built in there. So it's hard. So a lot of the guys that was traded mid-season, or shit in the off season too, it's really gonna boil down to what the camaraderie they built in the off season. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be what they build in the off season. Um, so yeah, that's why you don't see a lot of those trades. But with Justin Fields, 75 yards not gonna cut it. He got to learn and go through his progressions in the pocket. But also, I mean, he had 132 rushing yards. But the other side of that coin, the Raiders scored too. The other side of that coin, of the 49ers. The other side of that coin too, when you start talking about running like that, he taking unnecessary punishment. That's the difference. He taking a lot of unnecessary punishment. You see the hit, slow them down. That's what you got to do. A couple hits, slow them down. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, Jonathan Vilma, who was calling the game, was saying he needs those reps. He didn't need some additional hits. He needed to learn how to protect himself and get down. But they got to mature him as a passer. You know what I'm saying? And it's ways to do that. Mike Shanahan and the Shanahans were famous for being able to get their quarterbacks out on the boot, get them on the edge, make some throws. You know what I'm saying? You can move the pocket. Harbaugh did that in the 49er land. There's ways to move the pocket and move the platform for him and everything. So at the end of the day, he got to mature in the pocket. And a lot of that got to do it, getting better offensive linemen, them getting better receivers, you know what I'm saying, them getting their backs involved in the running game, but also it's going to really, determine how much he studied and how much stomach he got for being in the pocket. If he continue to run, he won't last in this league. That's the honest truth. If he continue to run, he won't last in this league. You can't run for 16, 17 games in this league. When you young, yeah, you can pop your hip and you can rub, down with the little drill they got. I actually got one of them over here. I can't find my charger though. I'll find it. You can rub yourself down and you recover. As you get older, them hits start accumulating. Your body start absorbing that punishment and it can't recover like it used to. I started noticing right around when I was 29, 30 that my body wasn't breaking down the bullshit I was eating like I used to. So you got to switch it up. But like I say, anything you do, you got to do it in moderation. You eat 100 apples a day and be fat as hell. An apple a good thing. So anything you do, if you're going to, if you dabbling in pork, you dabbling into red meat, you know what I'm saying? You got to do it, anything. You dabble in salads, you got to do everything in the moderation. And the activity has to catch up. So with them and, playing a sport, especially a sport of trauma, you got combat sports, football, basketball. Anytime you got any contact going on, a lot of them guys be looking for an outlet for the pain. And it's the mental pain, I mean, a lot of y'all that work at that plant, that work on the line, y'all doing a lot of repetition. I didn't know it was a high rate for a lot of people that worked on the line that got disability. So they gonna have to, he gonna have to work hard at being in the pocket next year. And number one thing, from an offensive coordinator standpoint, you got situations where you can do what Anthony Lynn did with Jared Goff. Let's just shit. We got this book. Show me everything you like. That's what we gonna run. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, that necessarily might not work out. I like the Ben Johnson approach he did with Jared Goff, which was he broke down the film, a Goff probably by himself. He did notes of what he thought Goff did well, what Goff did bad, what Goff needed to prove on. One would, probably then broke it down with Jared Goff. What did you see? And then probably went to Jared Goff. What do you like? What do you don't like? Aligned it with his notes. Tell him what he need to work on. He drew the offense around Jared Goff. That's a great sign of a great coach. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna just do the shit that you like, pick everything you like, we're gonna do it. Yeah, that sounds good. But you get the eye from the quarterback coach, you get the eye from the quarterback who actually doing it, and then you got my eyes, and I'm telling him what I see, of course. Of course, every week is something different. You know, every week is something different. So yeah, you like that, and that's one thing I like. I think Anthony Lynn just said, what you like. You've been in this league a long time. What you like, what you comfortable with, and that's what they went with. Ben Johnson came in, and he figured it out for himself. So, but for Chicago, that's the team that's kind of where we at. As far as in the maturation process, they're a team that, I think they might. We right there. The difference between us and them is, we think they got their franchise. They think they got their franchise quarterback. I think a lot of people believe so. But if he don't pass from the pocket, that's going to be a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, they got their quarterback, but now you strip them of all the pass rushers. You know what I'm saying? You moved on from the Kyle Fuller, no Mac, no Quinn. So now people talking about, well, Chicago should do this, do that in the third. The quarterback can cover a lot of stuff, but when the quarterback can't deliver from the pocket right now, you ask yourself, if you're a Chicago Bear fan, I like to get both perspectives. He threw a pick. Mike White threw a pick. Fuck. But you ask yourself from I think it was Quadre that got the pick too. Yep, Quadre Diggs. But you ask yourself, is that Mike White? I don't know. But Seattle probably about to blow them out. But you ask yourself, from wow, Tampa Bay fumbled the snap versus Carolina, the punt. He punted that bitch though still. He still punted it. Wow. Yep. They back Carolina up inside the 5. It's a flag though, but but uh but yeah, you ask yourself, what's the priority for Chicago next year? Is it still best player available, which I think it always should do? Is it, do we build the offensive line and then put some pieces there? Do we find a balance between defense and offense on free agency in the draft? I don't know, bro. But they had a point where, you know, they're always a team known for defense. So it'd be interesting, man. You look from our standpoint of view, you perfectly fine with Goff staying here, playing the way he playing. He kind of, giving away some demons outside and doing well on the road, even in the loss to Carolina and all that type of stuff. But obviously it's still a place that you looking for improvement. You know what I'm saying? You still looking to improve. A lot of people want guys that got a, mobile quarterback. The future. Some people want the future, like the kid from Florida and building behind Goff, which I'm totally fine with that. So it'd be interesting. But the way he played today, efficient football, the ball coming out good. They're playing well at home. The running backs look fresh today. Um, so we both right there. And then you got Minnesota, who I think they in win now mode and shit. Like with their team they got now, I think it's win now or never for them. But also you got a new regime that's sprinkling a little talent in there. Then Green Bay is just Green Bay. I think they by themselves. They're a team that's like right in the middle. They stuck in neutral, kicking up mud, and I think if they're able to, find a number one receiver next year, and I've been building that defense forever. Um, I don't know, but it's a division definitely. Um, it's an interesting division that we in. I mean, I think Minnesota, they should be able to make a Super Bowl run this year with the talent that they got, even on the defensive side. They're giving up some yards and shit in the back end, but with Chicago, it's a team we're gonna be battling with for a long time. If they learn and if they learn and teach Justin Fields to protect Justin Fields, he learned from the pocket, they're gonna be a problem all year. But today It's nothing you didn't like. You had the pass interference call that kind of tipped the game in our way, which the Chicago defenders didn't have to hold DJ Shark. They did. They just panic. It's different when you out there in a ball in the air. A lot of that's the difference between seasoned veteran DBs and young DBs. And that ball in the air, is two guys on them. It wasn't no need to hold. Now, if one of the DBs would have tipped it, then they would have hold, but. Shark bringing a different aspect to the game. And then you got Khalif Raymond, who really maturing into a really good, reliable, third or fourth receiver. St. Brown is St. Brown. Jameson Williams, he had to rush today, but, you won't go. You're not, like I said the other day, you're not going to see the best of Jameson Williams until 2023, or the beginning to see the best of Jameson Williams until then. So, y'all complaining about what Jameson Williams, his opportunities. Like, dude, you want to put this dude at risk out there on the worst field in National Football League. And by the way, the NFL Players Association, the union, has filed a grievance about the Carolina Panthers field after we got done playing them. So, it's just common sense, and I think a lot of people lack common sense. So I don't even think it should be called common sense. You want to put a kid who just came back off of blown ACL out there, and you want to play him a bunch of reps against the Carolina Panthers, who have apparently the worst surface that we played on this year. And apparently their surface was really bad because they got an MLS team down there, and they put turf. They took the real grass up and they put turf to accommodate for the soccer players, the soccer team. So Major League Soccer. So, at the end of the day, man, y'all got to be patient. Y'all got to be patient. Next year, there will be a role for him. He just won't be a deep threat next year. Next year, you'll see what you see at Alabama coming in and out of breaks, on out routes, in routes, zig, whatever the fuck they running out there. More than flies, more than skinny posts. You going to see him run underneath. Watch. You're going to see him on the crossings and the drags, and you're going to see him on the speed outs. You're going to see him doing the things. And I think what people are so anxious to see is the dynamic of him and St. Brown working together, because Jameson Williams is more than just a deep threat. He's somebody that can come in and out of breaks and like take it to the house. So, but other than the day, I mean, at the end of the day, they gotta find some help in the middle of that defense. I watched the Ohio State game last night, and I went to bed. I had been up all morning. I did some shopping. Last little Christmas gifts I had to buy for people, and I went to bed. I thought Ohio State won, to be honest. I woke up and I seen somebody from Ohio say, Ohio State let me down. He said messing up my whole 2023 already. I didn't know what he had meant. Shit, I think they was up by like 2 touchdowns when I went to bed and shit. I woke up. I mean, and then how you watch ESPN and you see the Bucks won. You see the clicker and shit, and it had I had an Xbox One. I don't know who got an Xbox One. The X Series, excuse me. I got the Xbox One X Series. So the way my TV stand set up, my TV stand too big for my TV. My TV too big for my TV stand. But I don't have nowhere to sit it. I can sit it behind the TV, but I ain't feel like doing all that. But I don't have nowhere to sit it. But it's sitting right there where the ticker be at. But I seen enough where it say Georgia name lit up in yellow, and I said Georgia won. I said, man, I didn't even watch the highlights, bro. Seattle about to score again, by the way. Seattle about to run off with this, so you gotta hope for the Rams next week to do something. But yeah, I'm sitting there, and they said Georgia won. I said, yo, but the thing about that is, CJ Stroud, I think, knocked his stock up a little bit last night, but that's nonetheless. I think continue from this game today. Yeah, both backs running well. You have both backs running well. And you just want them to carry this momentum into next season. It'd be nice to make the playoffs, do an extra game, and but I don't think it's gonna happen. Too much had to happen. That Buffalo loss, and then the loss to Carolina kind of, but then again, I mean, they got nothing to hang their hats on. They got a lot of young guys like James Mitchell. I like what he's doing. Brock Wright, I like what he's doing. Shane Zelstra. I like what he's doing. So they got a tight end by committee. Now, one of the mock draft had him taking a tight end from Notre Dame. And I'm not going to lie. I like that kid. I've watched him since he was a freshman. But what they doing with the tight end room is immaculate. I mean, so it's a lot to build on. It's a lot to build on next year. And they got a lot of guys that's getting better, that's going to establish the depth. And then you talk about a guy like James Houston, who you talk about a guy from James Houston who came from Jackson State, man, who had 3 sacks today. Um, who was on the practice squad and learned a lot from the 2 tackles and that we got. Who from one of them should have been a Pro Bowler, by the way, but it is what it is. And he got 3 sacks today, and then he had closed in on Justin Fields earlier again, and so he got I think he had 8 sacks now. I believe with them 3 today, I think it was 3 full sacks. Yep, he had 8 sacks right now. So I mean, Aiden Hutchinson had a pick today. Aiden Hutchinson had a pick today again. So, I mean, they're getting something out them rookie defensive ends. But like I said before, I'm still not one of those guys who gonna hesitate to. I'm still not gonna hesitate to improve even the defensive end position. Pascal had a big sack today. But if I get an opportunity and Will Anderson is the best guy on the board, then I got to take it. You get an opportunity in Carter there. I mean, you got to take it. You get an opportunity to move up for somebody like Carter, you got to take it. If one of the quarterbacks fall in your lap, then it's a discussion you got to have. But I think they're in a good place going into the off season, going into next week. They're in a good place. And it's just, how important does Brad Holmes see these holes you have? If it's linebacker, if it's the middle of the defense, but and Jared Goff continue to work on his footwork, continue to work on this, his mechanics and get wiser and get comfortable. Hopefully Ben Johnson be here next year, but if not, you got to be prepared to find somebody just like him. So it was a good game. I mean, anytime you beat the Bears, I mean, they beat every division rival so far. They should have beat Minnesota twice. They should have beat Minnesota twice. They should have beat they beat them once, beat the Bears twice. And bare minimum, they got opportunity to beat Green Bay and Green Bay next week. So without the playoffs, you're able to exercise some demons regardless. So we had a lot of horror stories there, but and then apparently they have some new uniforms going into next year too. So but yeah, I just like to see the direction in which they're going in, bro. And it seemed like a positive direction. And then when you fire a coach, like anytime you fire a defensive coach, then they tend to go offense. Anytime you fire, anytime you fire a defensive coach, they tend to go offense. Anytime you hire a strict coach like Patricia, they tend to go the players route. You know what I'm saying? The players coach, and that's what Dan Campbell doing. But he finding a way to get the respect that Patricia was trying to get through, kind of a militant, rah rah. I'm gonna run this with an iron fist. But he also, is being endeared by his player. But that's what happened when you play in the National Football League. That's one of the advantages, and it's kind of tough that the amount of National Football League guys who've been playing football mostly all their whole life don't be getting opportunities to coach. So it's messed up in my opinion. If the Lions make the playoff, far could you see them going? I don't know, man. Depends on who they would play. I think everybody got flaws. Right now, Jalen Hurts not 100%. Did the Eagles lose? My gut told me to pick the Saints, but I ain't had a balls to do so. Oh, your gut is your balls and your wood freak. Am I terrible? Yeah, they lost. So, but yeah, man. I don't know, man. You look at Eagles quarterback arm hurt. We already played the Eagles, so we could be going to Lincoln Financial, but we already seen them. But they have a bye. But then you talk about the 49ers, they playing with Brock Purdy at quarterback. No matter what, you just wait for Brock Purdy to show you why he was Mr. Irrelevant. Then you go to Dallas. We already played them and we was beat up, and we still had opportunity to win that game. So we wouldn't play Dallas though. It'd be Minnesota or the 49ers. So we play Minnesota, but they got playoff experience, for years. So anything can happen. I honestly feel bad for Fields. I mean, yeah, he got beat up. He got beat up, bro. He got beat up. He got beat up. So I mean, that's life. He be all right, but you just hope that what's with Okuda, man? You gotta understand, dude. Okuda ain't. When the last time Okuda played 10 games? Just imagine you won't go to work for a whole year. Just imagine that for a minute. You don't go to work for a whole year, right? And you go back to work. You think you're gonna be able to acclimate right away? Probably not. So you got to understand, Okuda ain't played this many games yet in the National Football League, and he doing so off in Achilles. So, he ain't played this many games since he left Ohio State. So that's something to kind of chew on for a minute too. And he had the head injury, then he had the sickness, and then he had all that going on. You got to understand, dude, at this time of year, man, people bodies beat up. So when you ain't done it before, you know what I'm saying? It's like a boxer. They go forward and they work their way to 6 rounds, and they work their way to 8 rounds, and they work their way to 10 rounds, then the championship 12 rounds, and then back in the day, you used to fight 15. So it's hard to go from just being an amateur 4-round amateur fighter for like 2 minutes and then going to be a 36-minute fighter. It's a drastic difference, bro. Same thing in football. The dude ain't played. He ain't played a full professional schedule ever. And the last time he played double-digit games and practice that much time was in college. Then in college, they get a water break after every damn play. So yeah, it's an adjustment for him. Gotta understand. People say, "What's wrong with Aurora?" Yeah, he suffered a back injury, a whole back injury, then derailed Levon Azorki's whole career. We are now a wild card, not just in the hunt. I don't know, man. You better be watching this Jets game, because I don't think the Rams can beat the Seahawks. So this is it. Tumba, what's going on, bro? I gotta give me a new aux cord, dude, or dig one out. I might go back out today. I said I was gonna go back out to Five Below and get one. Man, I was thinking about going to sleep after this one. But I'm like, yo, I ain't gotta go to work in the morning. I ain't gotta go to work in the morning. What's up, Dwayne? I see you. Great win for the line. Always good to beat up on the Chicago Care Bears. The Bears have very little talent and no draft capital. They got the number 2 pick next year. So yeah, they got their pick next year. And they got a bunch of money, I believe, too. And a lot of people like apparently coming to Chicago. I mean, a lot of Detroiters like going to Chicago. They downtown is immaculate. But off that water. Jesus Christ. And then in Chicago, I don't know what's going on. Y'all be killing like it's a sport. Y'all be killing like it's a sport in Chicago. I'd be scared of y'all. Imagine the July 1st on Chicago. I mean, not January 1st on Chicago. Imagine that shit. Pop, they was shooting over here. I went to sleep, woke me up. I was waking up in between rounds and shit. Trying to figure out is it a firecracker. What up, Chuck? Or is it a gunshot? So where exactly do that leave? Well, you got Seattle got to lose. If Seattle lose one more, with 2 more games to go, with 1.5 for them, we went out. We in. Commanders lost. Shout out to Deshaun Watson. So you need Seattle to lose one more. The draw between the Washington and the Giants really threw a monkey wrench and everything. Hutchinson, Houston together is great. I mean, yeah, but I would say it's gonna be interesting to see what James Houston play, because they drop both of them. They put the hand in the ground. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting to see kind of how he kind of integrate international football league. Is he gonna stand them up and try to drop them? They're gonna try to rush them. I mean, it's gonna be interesting because if you're gonna put them both out there, you're probably gonna put Hutchinson on the front side most of the time and let Houston rush off the back, or you can line them up together. I mean, it's interesting. They just need help in the middle of that defense. We win a division next year. I'm not quick to go that far, but it's too early. Anything can happen. Shit, Minnesota might trade for Lamar. I would. Kirk Cousins trash. He needs Seattle to lose one more. And then if you went out, you in. You gotta go to Green Bay though. Green Bay, sleep on Pascal. Yeah, I think Pascal is a utility player. He's kind of like Corey Redden. You know what I'm saying? Somebody inside and outside, but you need a real dog in the middle, a real natural defensive tackle that can rush the passer and stop the run. All this for not Seattle about to crush our playoffs. Well, they got the Rams next week. I don't, oh, you were right. But hey, it is what if they'll make it, they'll make it. Shit. We ain't expecting them to make it this far. I think it's gonna be a lot of momentum going into the offseason. I mean, shit, we thought we was gonna be talking draft talk 2 months ago, and look at we here. So I'm just hoping they take that momentum into the offseason and they fix what they gotta fix. Right. So they better than that bench press 100 pounds 5 times a day than don't do it for another year. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's all. You got to understand, man. Y'all got to understand that, man. That kid ain't played a full schedule in forever. So yeah, it's really like his rookie year. Getting beat up and cool to be all right. Jamal Williams, he ain't never been no lead back. So it's all experience. So this a grown man league too. It's a real grown man league. But yeah, man, I'm happy where they progressing. It's not like a fake momentum like last year, which is how they was Johnson salute. It's not like they was sneaking up on teams and Green Bay was not Green Bay, but what's the team name, bro? Arizona was sleeping on us and stuff, even though we stayed whooping on their ass. It wasn't like they was sleeping on us and nothing like that. We creeping on the come up, as MC8 would say. No, this year they seen us coming. Buffalo knew what they was getting into. Minnesota knew what they was getting into. Carolina came prepared. They knew what we was about. So Minnesota up 3-0 on the line. I'm on the Packers. They knew what they was getting into. So it wasn't like we sneaking up on people. And that's what you want. You want people to give you that type of shot that Carolina gave you last week. That's what you're gonna get next year. So, people won't feel the need to go out there and rush and spend a bunch of money on free agents. I mean, in NFL, it don't necessarily work that way. It don't necessarily work that way. You know, it don't necessarily work that way. Um, so I like what they did last off season. We're not spending a lot of money. I like what this off season. I wouldn't spend a lot of money either. It had to be on the right type of guy. You got a lot of draft capital. So it's gonna be interesting to see the pieces that they put on this team. But with the playoff race, it just give us something to talk about. Honestly, we not just continuing. Yeah, I seen Seattle just scored. I'm on the red zone, and we just not continuing to just talk about. Usually, we would have been Man Beast Morris, me, and Detroit Raw, and all of us, Micro Mike. We'd have been talking about the draft 2 months ago when they turned that shit around. So, quarterback is not a critical hole that need to be filled. Um, yeah, it's not a critical hole that need to be filled. It can be upgraded, but you can say that about on any position, on any team. Not name where what's the kid name? Not name where the elite quarterbacks at. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, like I don't know. I'm trying to think of some good quarterbacks out there. I mean, I guess not where damn, ain't really no good quarterbacks. You can't use Aaron Rodgers. Oh shit, Green Bay just scored 7. I think it was on the kick return. Yep. But yeah, you know the elites who are Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrows, Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, but you always looking to upgrade, but you don't have to force that hand. Golf is capable, and the recipe to winning championships in this league is running the football, stopping the run, and getting after the passer, and then everything else just fall into place. If you can run it, stop the run, get after the passer, that's all you need to do. Then you probably talking about play action. So next year is gonna be a different dynamic, bro, because if Jameson Williams get healthy, it's gonna be totally different dynamic, bro. Because what he can do underneath, I'm not even worried about what he can do down the field. That's a bonus, but what he can do underneath when he coming in and out of breaks, and what he can do when he get the football in his hands is exactly what you missing. You know, he remind you of St. Brown, but also he more like Brandon Cooks going down the field. You see him, you kind of catch my drift. He like Brandon Cooks going down the field. So not only is he giving you the little jerk routes and shit that Cooper Cup give you underneath, but Cooper Cup and St. Brown, they set you up with their route running. You know what I'm saying? They crafty. It's kind of like Paul Pierce. People remember Paul Pierce. Y'all seen Paul Pierce in the high school dunk contest on YouTube. It. Terrible. He is one of the worst athletes you'll see coming, but Paul Pierce knew that. But Paul Pierce was so crafty and he knew how to use his body to get his shot off. And that's kind of like what St. Brown and Cooper Cup is. They use their craft and they choppy feet and they set you up. You think they sitting down and they setting you up and then they running by you. Golden Tate was like that. I think Golden Tate was a more superior, maybe slightly more athletic than both of them. Um, but that's kind of what you get with St. Brown. He's setting you up, and the beautiful thing about guys like him, Hines Ward, Jerry Rice, Cooper Cup, Wes Welker, Julian, those type of receivers gonna last because they have mastered the fundamentals of being a wide receiver. You know, my bad, but I'm sorry I had a text, but yeah, those guys, when you master your craft, and that's why if I was training somebody like hooping, first thing you do is you're gonna master the fundamentals, dribbling, left-handed, dribbling right-handed, dribbling between the legs, behind the back, sliding your feet with your hands behind your back. I would take somebody through the bare basic minimum fundamental technique. Dribbling, moving back, dribbling, moving forward, dribbling, moving side to side with a tennis ball. Then you go behind your back, between your legs coming from the back, So, then that's kind of where you go with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what those receivers had. Tim Brown, they're gonna survive in this league. And Jerry Rice was able to play for so long because he wasn't like Randy Moss. Randy Moss was just good at running the deep routes. And God bless Randy with a lot of size and catch radius. But Jerry was able to master the routes and the nuance, so he was able to last. So that's what I see in St. Brown, and Jameson Williams can do that too. You know, and now but also the difference is when St. Brown, when Williams started to set you up underneath, you know what I'm saying? Yo, if you make one false move, he gone. With St. Brown, he could be gone. Cooper Cup, he could be gone. Cooper Cup didn't master the shit so well. He gets so much separation, he gone. You know what I'm saying? St. Brown, he getting there. But the difference between Williams gonna bust your ass on the outside. He gonna bust your ass on the inside. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get his release. So you know what I'm saying? So it's to the point where, I don't have to align Jameson Williams up to get him open. You know what I'm saying? I could put him right there with Marvin Harrison, with Reggie Wayne, with Wes Welker, with Brown at, with Cup at, where Jamar Chase at. He can do some of the things Jamar Chase can do, but the difference is from what I seen in college of him, he can do the shit under that. You know what I'm saying? Not just like, oh, just apparently catch a comeback or a guy he can catch a curl. No, this dude, he catching outs. He catching ends. He doing option shit. He catching digs. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? This dude coming out there, he doing it all. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna go underneath and be a technician too. And him and St. Brown, if they ever get on track, it'll be dangerous. It's gonna be real dangerous. And I'm gonna throw a name out here that people ain't heard in a long time. People gonna be saying, this is probably what Titus Young should have been. People gonna be saying that's what Titus Young. Man, I remember Titus Young was. Man, let's talk about Titus Young for a minute, bro. I'm gonna do some more Forgotten Lions this offseason. Y'all hold me accountable to remind me, right? This summer in the dog days, somebody in the 49ers hurt their knee. But I remember when Titus Young was just turning that corner, and he was killing that shit. He was like a stick of dynamite out there. He was special. And then he just went off the rockers, bro. Like literally, like the Lions had some of the best would have been receivers. I mean, you talking about Charles Rogers, Jermaine Crowell, Titus Young, 3 right there. I thought Ryan Burroughs would really be good in this league if it wasn't for the knee injuries. Damn, Seattle out here running. Damn, who this nigga? And they run all over the Jets. But yeah, we got to be Dallas fans next week too. Don't forget that. We're gonna root for the Detroit Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, he had some good what if stories, man, for sure. Titus Young was gonna be, but you never all them hits they take to the head. It was a former Lion player. I think it was a former Lion player a few years ago. And my mom was telling me he was out there in Ypsilanti, and he took his head and he just jumped. You know how he had a sliding doors at the grocery store? He just jumped in the sliding doors and just went through the glass. So you gotta understand, man. Y'all got y'all sons and girls playing football too. Your daughters playing football and all that type of stuff. Monitor their health, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you should be doing that regardless. Man, checking on mental health. Asking is everything all right? And as a parent, when everything all right. We should be doing that. So Trey Finesse, what's going on, bro? What up, though? West Finkel's checking in. What's how Finkel? I said West Finkel's only one side, but now he said West Side. Shout out to the 5 Mile. That's where I live at, bro. I've stayed on Finkel for a long time. Minnesota looks so fluky. Yeah, it's just the defense. But the motherfuckers get hot like fish grease, man. They get hot like fish grease. Hold on. But yeah. But yeah, they can get hot like Seattle just scored again. They get hot like fish grease though. I think Green Bay might win today, and it's gonna be a show. Well, you gotta hope that Seattle lose one of these games. Right now, Seattle the offense running like a brand new old school engine right now. Nice little 305, 450, 400, whatever they got. So, Alex, what's going on, bro? The Pistons play today? I'm definitely not watching though. They played last night, didn't they? They beat Minnesota. I didn't know that shit till I woke up in the morning. They beat Minnesota. I just don't be nothing, for one, I don't watch basketball until like the Lions ain't shit. And apparently the Lions doing shit right now. But when I be watching I'll be watching some of the Pistons. They don't hold my attention right now. Sorry. Need more Jameson Williams. I don't think so. I think Jameson Williams right where he need to be at. Next year you'll see the best of him. That's fine with me. You don't want that kid to get hurt and then slow him. That's why I went on Zorky. If they just would have elected to have a surgery last year, guess what? You probably would have been seeing him heat up right now. So whatever JMO giving you is just a bonus. And next year you see him hit the hit the ground rolling. Goff was short 3 times from throwing the ball to James. Well, yeah, you're gonna get that. I'm pretty sure Kirk Cousins and Hawkinson have some issues. You see Chase Claypool and Field have some issues. Anytime you get somebody in the middle of the season, it's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard to he just missed TJ Hawkinson right there. Kirk Cousins, he had dude open across the middle for the first though. Oh, they doing flashbacks. My bad, highlights. Yeah, Green Bay, man. Yep, Green Bay's up. But yeah, anytime you got to understand, man, it's like the ultimate camaraderie, bro. It's like you just repetition. You got to start off doing one-on-ones and one-on-ones. Then you probably go into practice doing 7-on-7s, and then we got to form a relationship and live action in practice. And then once you get out live action, practice, then we got to do it in the game scrimmages. And then we build a camaraderie in the scrimmages. Then we building it in the game. And then the game is different from the scrimmages. The scrimmages is different from the live practices. The live practices is different than the 7-on-7s. And the 7-on-7s is different than the one-on-ones in the summer. You catch my drift? So all that's different. Then you got to think about it. It's the mental aspect. Like, yo, where you like the ball at? Or sometimes, getting used to Jared Goff ball. It's a lot different than Stafford. Stafford ball was an acquired taste. It took people a minute to get used to Stafford ball because he was just a ferocious beast on the ball. He still got a hell of an arm. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. So it's a camaraderie thing. You just don't go out there and like on Madden and just start throwing everything perfect. No, they got to talk about option routes. They got to talk about when you do pumping goals or stopping goals, where do you like the ball at? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So, so that's the thing about it, though. So that's what it is, man. So I don't understand it. That shit ain't what did Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers had, or Derek Carr, Devontae Adams had. That comes over years, bro. That's years of repetition. You know what I'm saying? With Brett Favre and Sterling Sharp had, that's years of repetition. What Calvin and Stafford had, that's years of repetition. So y'all still in the race. Yeah, you need Seattle. You need Seattle to lose one more, and they control their own destiny. Calvin and Titus have been nice together, man. Dude, been great, man. This shit, Golden Tate and Calvin was nice together. It's just Joe Lombardi wasn't shit. He don't still look to be shit in San Diego or LA. Titus was nice. That team period was up and coming. It was a lot of just dumb shit off the field, kind of and on the field too. So I realized the O-line does not get enough recognition. It probably made our defense a lot better. It did. That's a great point by Deshaun. Yeah. That's a great point. Brock Purdy, touchdown. Brock Purdy. So, but yeah, you're right. Of course, that's the thing about it. You think Michael Jordan was making people better in practice? Rick Mahorn, I want Green Bay to win today. Shit might not matter if Seattle keep winning. Charlene Trap, I like that name, bro. They working Pascal and he looking good. Yeah, you ain't gonna see the best of him till next year neither. Yeah, it's hard to get off the couch and go, man, go you, man. Remember they be having that post on Facebook and they be like, adults, when the last time y'all ran full speed? You know what I'm saying? Remember that? Remember that? That shit was crazy. That's just crazy, dog. And you think about it, like, I ain't ran full speed. You know what I'm saying? I ain't ran full speed in forever. That should be hilarious, bro. Seattle just scored, shaking my. Y'all seen that, man? Remember, y'all ever seen the movie Zombie Land with my man's from the Facebook movie and Woody Harrelson and had Emma Stone in there and shit, man. And he was in the first. The second was pretty good too. But the first one, he was talking about how all the fat motherfuckers was getting killed because they could not run the zombie. He had these rules, stay in shape, and are hilarious, dog. Rams lose these last two games. Well, shit, you might need them to win next week. You might need them to win next week, player. And Karen Rodgers just choked up the football. Yeah, he getting old, bro. You old. You won't be in that cold shit. You see all the old people that got money? Shit, they fly down south for the winter, huh? And my French Montana was here. Yeah. Old people, that heat be feeling good to old people. Boy, you ever turn the air conditioner on an old person, man, they ready to cut you. I tuned in kind of like, I don't know if you touched on NFC being wide open this year. We can bang with every team. But, man, look, we just got to make it. What's that song by Trey Young? Got it, Trey song. We gotta make it. I forgot it on his first song. I ain't really concerned about that much. You know, Michigan didn't really piss me off yesterday, even though I probably almost got through out of Texas Roadhouse. But they ain't really pissed me off yesterday because I don't trust Harbaugh in big games, no way. But Ohio State, man, I ain't gonna lie. I rooted for Ohio State one time in life. And I rooted for them when they played Miami in the national championship game. And no, I didn't root because I like fucking Ohio State. I root because I like Maurice Clarett and Miami. And I love the U. Don't get it twisted. It's just an underdog thing. And it was like my Maurice Clarett versus like 50 fucking Maurice Claretts on the other side of the field. It was him and Chris Gamble. But it was like Maurice Clarett versus the University of fucking Miami. And I just thought that shit was so dope. I was a huge Maurice Clarett fan, but that's about it. I was an Eddie George fan in the league. Um, Shit, and that's it. You know, that's it. But yeah, they robbed the fuck out of Miami that year, though. It was a little bit of Big Ted pride thing, but Miami was just dope back then. They was dope. I love Maurice Clarett. I still fuck with him, man. He single handedly kept Ohio. He for him it pretty much they was the call on Chris Gamble. Remember, Chris Gamble played both ways. The call on Chris Gamble. Look, this the pot for the national championship. 60% of the national championship, or 50% of the national championship, was Maurice Clarett. The other 50 was a bad call on Chris Gamble. They gave them the victory. Simple as that. They took that from Miami. Then they picked that shit, I think, or fumbled. And Green Bay just got 6 again. So yeah. But that's the only time. Yeah, I said I don't really got nothing against Georgia, and I ain't got nothing, fuck Ohio State. But I run to see Michigan, Ohio State. But when Michigan lost, it was what it was. I feel like if the Lions get some linebacker safety, I think they got safeties, bro. I really ain't worried about it. You get Melifano, Curry Joseph, they out there playing. Deshaun Elliott probably come back. Tracy Walker probably. I think they got safety play. I just think they probably need a veteran corner out there. I think that's what they missing is a veteran corner. So yeah, linebacker, I agree with that. If I did go spend some money on the line, I still spend money, it'd be on a proven middle linebacker. I agree on that one because they so hard. They take a while to develop. They like the quarterback of the defense. With Houston added to the depth, are we going to draft more rushers? I mean, you can never have too many rushers, bro. But I think now you looking for guys that's y'all can ask questions and I answer them. But I think you looking for guys on the inside. Nah, I think you're looking for, interior help. If that's, you're looking for ideally a guy that can stop the run and get after the passer. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for. You look at somebody on the inside that can wreak havoc. Real talk. So that's what you're looking for. So if you did have to add something to the D line, you'd be like, well, if I had to add one dude to the D line, which one is going to be? It's going to be in the inside. The dude from Georgia. That's who it's going to be. He said Quinn Snyder, the next Piston head coach. I like Quinn Snyder, but I'd rather Jerry Stackhouse, Mark Jackson, Kenny Atkinson. I think Ime Udoka if they want to choose that way. Them the four in my top 4 I can think of. Them the top 4 I can think of. Them the top dudes I could think of. That Miami team was stacked. Yeah, it was, bro. It was. I don't know what happened with them, bro. Like Holland Spellenberg, I know they got the penalties and all that, but they had a good, you know, foundation. Think about if Texas, the University of Texas was able to keep everybody or Texas A&M was able to keep everybody in Texas. Think about that shit. Hey, same thing for California, but them big states though. Kirk Cousins just choked up the football. That's what it was. Well, I'm not surprised. What up, Kobe? I see you. What vet quarterback would you go for? I felt the same way. I mean, people get franchise guys can get released, but and I don't know how bad Anthony Brown's problem is. That was with the Cowboy. I think he probably blew his ACL out, so he probably go that route. But I don't know. But I'm looking up right now. I mean, maybe James Bradbury. I probably he turned us down with Patricia once and went to New York. Who we got out here? Bradbury. Maybe Marcus Peters. All of them are on the same age, 29. Greedy Williams. Maybe I like Greedy Williams. Um, Byron Murphy from Arizona. I like him. Trey Flowers. I mean, not that Trey Flowers. Yeah. But yeah, them kind of ones I'm looking at. Should Justin Coleman free? About to be free again? Yeah, them the main ones I'm looking at. Bradbury, Greedy Williams, depending on the old boy leg, Anthony Brown leg. They're the ones I'm really looking at. Bradley Roby. So they're the ones I'm kind of looking at. But that list can change. What's crazy is next year team won't be able just to double Aiden in Houston. They just need somebody at the middle that can turn loose, man. Yeah, Jerry Jacobs. Yeah, I like him in the slot, or I like him hybriding around. I just think they need a veteran back there, not even a young guy. But man, I see what's the boy Marvin Harrison Jr. I heard he got took out with a cheap shot. I know that's subjective, but man, that kid was fucking Michigan up. But he was also tearing up Georgia too. That Khalid Ringo guy, he was taking him to school. They got us drafting him in one of the mocks. But yeah, Marvin Harrison's Jr. I know his daddy was bad, man, but he might be better. You don't really never see that happen. Daddy Hall of Famer, ain't he? If Seahawks win next week, we beat the Packers. Lions won't even make the playoffs. Seahawks look good today. Yeah, they've been slipping though, but Pete Carroll been around a long time. Remember, he had one of the greatest college teams assembled, and Vince Young did his Maurice Claret imitation by beating them. That was my last. No, it was some good national championships since then, though, because Jameson Auburn was a good one too. But that was one of my favorites to watch, though. But the one that always stick in my mind the most, even outside of Michigan's joint one, was Miami and Ohio State. I'd never forget that one, bro. I'd never forget that national championship game. I'll never get that national championship game, man. Never forget that national championship game, bro. Never. But my favorite college basketball national championship game was the one with Villanova, North Carolina. That was probably the best national championship game I ever seen in all of college football sports. And I was a huge Jay Wright fan. I love Jay Wright at Villanova, dude. Jay Wright be clean as hell on the sideline. I'm happy that he got a national championship. And I believe that won over us too. So, I was happy when Jay Wright got his national championship. But that was a good ass game. That was a good ass game. Y'all heard about Jerry Porter at Penn State? Yeah, I hear about. I like Jaquan Brisker coming out last year. He went to the Bears, real good safety. Them Jets looking shaky right now. Yeah, the Jets. But I like Ringo Gonzalez from Oregon. Yeah, Ringo, that motherfucker Marvin Harrison Jr. had him out there, but Marvin Harrison Jr. only a sophomore. He only a sophomore, so yeah, man, Ohio State. Um, yeah, so, but yeah, I like him a lot. So, but Ohio State, they be recruiting. Where is he even from, bro? Did he from Philly like his daddy? I think his daddy from Philly. Let me see real quick. His dad from Philly. Yeah, he from Philly too. Yep. St. John's Preparatory. Yep, he from Philly. Yep, look just like his daddy. Just like his daddy. But yeah, he said same old Wolverines. Yeah, I gotta get some more weapons, bro. Yeah. They gotta get some more weapons. Um, they gotta get some more weapons. They gotta get some more weapons. They get some more weapons. It's on. It's on. That's it. They just gotta get some more weapons, bro. But yeah, man. I mean, TCU, man. Big 12 a bad matchup for Michigan. They score a lot of points and they got a lot of speed too. So, but how Georgia beat Ohio State, I woke up and I was appalled. But it is what it is. Like CJ Stroud kind of, raised his stock a little bit though. So they would have won if they wasn't so greedy in the beginning. They underestimated TCU. Yeah, everybody was saying that Midas touch. Everybody was saying that. And that started off with leadership. That started off with leadership. That started off with the leadership. So that started off with the coach. He had them ready to go. You can't overestimate anybody. TCU belong. Yeah, they had a bad game versus Kansas State, but they showed that shit was a fluke. So that's what it is. If we went out the Seahawks, they still got to win. They got to win. The Seahawks got to lose one more game because they got the tiebreaker over us. We control our own destiny if the Seahawks lose one more game. They got the Jets right now, and they got the Jets right now, and the Rams next week. And right now the Rams are down 3-7 to the Chargers. So yep. Vikings look so trash. They definitely will be one and done with Kirk Cousins. It's cold as hell out there in Green Bay today. Like in Denver, it was pretty warm. In Kansas City today, excuse me. It's pretty warm out there. It's cold as shit out there. So I figured Dalvin Cook might have a good game, but you never really know. But man, that's all I got, man. I appreciate y'all, man, for coming in, dude. So we'll be monitoring the playoff situation, man. And but yeah, I appreciate y'all. Check out the Lions post game reaction playlist, more videos like this. Trey Lions Talk playlist, Lions 1-on-1, a live stream playlist. Appreciate y'all. Peace.